All right. Hello. Welcome to Game 10 of the Albany tournament from this past July that I played in Colony, New York. What a beautiful part of the world. Colony is a suburb of Albany. Basically, one road called Wolf Road that has hotel on it and just like tons of restaurants, many within walking distance. Um, but yeah, it's just a strip mall, of course. Anywho, yeah, this is round 10 against Max Panitch, the eventual winner of the event. So if you have your predictions about how this game is going to go, well, I probably already just spoiled it. But I got to play Max a few times. This tournament, Max is such a great player. I love playing him. Always a treat. Very strong opponent. Um, yeah. So this is round 10 of 23, I think. And Max is first. He exchanges 5. And my opening rack is DEFNOTT, where I have many options. I can play long, I can play short, and I can play toft, oft, font. Tofted is not a word, apparently. I actually thought it was. No. Maybe I've phonied with that before. But yeah, a bunch of options. Deft is. I don't think deft is one of those options. Or toft here. Or toft here. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, let's do a little simulation. After an exchange 5, Max's rack is slightly better than average. Or his potential rack, not his actual rack. It's important to distinguish between what an opponent actually has and what they should have. So yeah, once you exchange 5, that means you're keeping 2 tiles you want, which tend to go better with the rest of the tiles that are unseen. So oftentimes that means you might want to play a bit shorter, not give opponents any extra leverage, any extra letters to play through. So I could play Toft because it doesn't actually give Max another letter to play through. It just gives him another T. But it does give back an S hook, which hits the double word score. So I decided to keep it short, play oft, and try to respond a few bingos. Hopefully I can bingo through his bingo. Font again, same issue. I'm giving an extra letter to play through and an S hook. I just want to weigh slightly against such things in this position, but it's definitely close. Because he's exchanged 5, not like 2 or 3 or 1. Like if he's done that, it's a different story. So I play oft in this spot rather than 2 spots up again, because I don't want to give a hook that gives Max a double word score to play with. So Max plays Volti for 18, giving me a bingo of letdowns. And Max plays another V with vibes, and I'm feeling really good. Max has just drawn both Vs, definitely slowed him down a ton. And yeah, I have a nice scoring spot of heave for 39 here, by and away the best play, or far and away, or whatever. But Max strikes with zags for 60, so he's putting on the pressure here. Finally got a good play. I have this rack, and I have one play using the Z. I don't actually have to use the Z. I'm actually curious to see how Hub simulates. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really consider not using the Z. Usually when a Z is in a triple, you just want to use it before your opponent. It's just the biggest spot on the board. And as we can see, even though the valuations were close before the simulation, it appears that Quackle agrees that this is a big scoring spot that I should address. before doing anything else, despite it leaving very poorly. HIU is a really bad leave versus EINOR. We'll see that EINOR bingos way more and scores way more. But by playing hub, I'm giving my opponent way more of a scoring opportunity. So yeah, seems like zoner's the play. Also, very interestingly, I noticed that if I drew a blank, I would draw into this word of Hisener, which actually has happened to me before. This exact sequence of a Z being his honor, that's what it means. A Z was here. I was playing Matthew Tunnicliffe from Ottawa. He played Zoner, and then he played Hisener the next turn. I think it was really, really frustrating. But yeah, that would score 57 points, so it may or may not be worth using the blank for. So Zoner comes down, and here Max strikes with Reawake for 78. Best bingo, definitely, despite putting the E in the triple lane, 13 extra points, well worth it over something like Teamaker, which also puts the letter in a triple lane. And this is just stupid. So yeah, Reawake, definitely the best play. And here what did I do here? I played this, yes, okay. I drew into this rack, and I played Jihad, and this was my fatal mistake of the game. I might have already looked at this game, but just missing Jehu was a horrible mistake. Of course, leaving 3 I's and an N is worse than leaving I and U by a decent margin. Actually, not by much. You look at the valuations, but taking away the scoring spot is just so much more important. No, I can't play that. So I'll show you that like this was a clear mistake. I missed the word Jehu. It's sometimes a hard word to find, specifically in this instance, for sure. Finding a play that leaves 3 I's through an E with this rack. One of the harder spots to find Jehu, which is not an excuse. I definitely should have seen that word. I know that when I have a J, U, and H, I should always be looking for that word. But yeah, huge mistake of missing Jehu. That could have very well cost me the game. So Jehu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. For those that know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. But yeah, I was doing well until this moment. Max uses the spot for Dexy. And now I draw the Q, which is very lucky. Yeah, I played QAI for 28, keeping A and E. So that's in the top here. I could have played Equine, but I think my play was fine. I also had the possibility of playing over here with Jihadi. Yeah, I've already looked at this game, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I'll look at it for you guys again. But yeah, I played Quay here, and a bingo from Max of Nonaries, and now I'm in big trouble because I did not draw into a bingo of my own. I could play Nail here. Maybe should have. I have to admit I wasn't 100% sure Shen was a word in this game, which is really bad. I thought it might be a Collins word. Max plays a low, just keeping up the scoring, but luckily I drew into a bingo of a Gret, which I play for 61, so it's a game. And Max plays MY for 28. And my rack is not so good. And my play was Potage. I probably should have played. It's not playable. I think I was supposed to play. Quack thinks I was supposed to play like Boogie or something, but I think my play was fine. I mean, none of my plays are good. I can't play anything with WAP, but maybe I should have played Goop just to complicate the game. The problem with Potage is, I mean, I'm going down by 5 points, and it's just giving Max a clear path to where he's supposed to play. But I didn't see anything better. I was trying to draw the blank. And Max plays reunites, which pretty much ends the game. Unless I could come up with something crazy, because I did draw the blank. And this is a really crazy position where it looks like there's absolutely no possible way to win the game if Max plays properly, and the reason for that is this area of the board is the only area of the board where a bingo is possible, unless there's some 10-letter word through ON. I can actually check that just to see. Yeah. Generate 50 choices. I don't want to generate all choices, but there might be a 10-letter word. Let's just assume there isn't. Yeah, let's go back here. So this is my rack, and I am aware that the only way for me to win is to bingo, and the only place for me to bingo is in this spot up here. And with pretty much every rack, Max will have a possible way of blocking everything by playing through the eye of vibes. He can make a 5-tile play if he has it, or just a 4-tile play starting an I, or a 4-tile play starting with the V, just to block everything. So with that in mind, I knew that I wasn't winning, but I could try to win anyway. I could try to steal the game. So I made this insane play of ME for 10. Let's get rid of all these choices. You might think, ME, what is that? You're blocking the N column, you're blocking the M column. Max is just going to play anywhere over here and you're dead. And to that I say, ha, you fell for it as well, because what this didn't look like at first was a setup for my L, because Alme is a word. So very, very masterful plan of mine, if I might say so myself, where it looks like I'm blocking, but you have to be aware that I'm actually setting up my L. So my plan was to get Max to play here and draw into a B or an A and play Cabildo for 90 points, which would have won the game in many contexts by a very small amount. And so that was my master plan. There's also, I think, possible draws of cover lid through the V. So it's not like I have one spot to play in. So I thought that playing this with almost no time left, Max would probably be like, he's just trying to hit something through one of these letters. I just have to block. And that's indeed what happened. I played me. Max did play Fad, but unfortunately, the B was the last tile unseen, and I didn't draw it. Very sad. I drew instead the U and played could. I think that might be the best endgame. It might not be. Yeah, best endgame is Uracil, leaving DO that scores well here. So yeah, could is 5 points back. You're still a 10 game medium. Okay. And yeah, after the game, I asked Max what the letter was that he drew, and it was the B. And I told him what I had done basically, and what I was trying to go for. I mean, could was a play that showed Max what I was doing. I wanted him to know. I actually probably I don't know if I would have found a better end game than could, but I really wanted Max to see what I had done in the game, just to make him like scared for the rest of the tournament, just like psychological warfare, because he needed to know that I had set this up. I told him after the game too, obviously, and I would have told him no matter what. But yeah, obviously, I shouldn't have gotten into this particular pickle that I was in, where I played ME, which is just not a winning move if Max makes any of his plays. He doesn't even have to block the V. If I draw into cover lid, he could have something like Fubar that wins on the spot. It just scores too many points, and he'll win by like 20 points. But I made a play that that could have won the game if I had just drawn the other letter that was in the bag. So very sad, but definitely deserved loss for having missed Shehu and potentially some plays making Jihadi. Um, and yeah, game finishes 478 to 404. So I hope you enjoyed that game. This is a good example of never giving up, even when the game is technically lost. So yeah, always look for those weird possibilities when you're behind and you need to bingo somewhere or um, do something huge. So yeah, I'll see you guys next episode.